Okay, January 11th, Playa del Carmen with my two sisters, Diane and Louise. So you guys, either one of you can put me on the spot and say, if you have a question about anything in terms of anything spiritual, anything mysterious, anything you want to change, anything that you want to, anything that you're worried about, just what shall I start with? You got one, Diana?
Ask Louise first.
Louise?
Let's do spiritual.
Spiritual, I guess. I'm going to switch the camera in such a way that I'm looking, if I'm on the couch, I'm looking at the camera when I'm looking at the two of you. So, spiritual. I guess my first question is there something that you'd like to understand? Are you confused about something? Or are you interested in having an experience? In other words, do you want to put some knowledge in a box and put the box on the wall and say, okay, that's settled, I don't have to think about it again? Or would you like the experience that the knowledge talks about, which gives a transformative understanding to the subject matter because you're able to embody it? Would you like the experience
Yes.
of spirit?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what about spirit? Are you interested in? Are you interested in experiencing the truth of yourself, a truth that sets you free, a truth of some deity, a truth of your contextual circumstances in life? What?
Let's talk about being truth of ourselves.
The truth of yourself. Okay, so we have the truth that we shared today, brothers and sisters, been around a long time in this life and haven't spent much of the last half of our lives together, but we're taking 6 days and saying, okay, we're making up for some lost time. Now that's all contextual. That's temporal, temporary, and it has to do with the truth of the bodies, and that's not the spirit. Although it is, spirit is everything. But when you talk about circumstantial truths and identifying with a moment and expecting that to be you for eternity, it doesn't work that way. The you of the moment passes. It's temporary. You're in a temporal world, and you have a temporary, contextualized point of view, ID, personality, role to play, game and purpose of life, and all of that is fabricated. None of it's actually your spirit. It's you having a role on earth as a human in a body, and so as that, in order to have the spiritual experience that you're asking about, it would be necessary for you to organize your knowledge or your knowing in this area. So just basics. Your body is not you, although you inhabit the space of the body, but the body is inside a you that is as infinite and eternal as God is, as Jesus is.
Are you saying we have the same capabilities?
I'm saying that you're the same energy, virtually the same being. And unlike him, you came to earth and took a body and went unconscious. Unlike him, you haven't transcended the limitations of the body yet. You haven't realized your true identity and your true purpose, and you're still operating as a collective human consciousness life form, dealing with 99% of your thoughts about your obligations and your interests. What do you like to do with your body? What do you hate? You know, it's all of your attention's there, and that's where you operate from. And you're just moving through life as your personality and your identity, and and you have a regular image that you share with everybody. You know, this is me. This is my role. This is my personality. This is my body, and this is how it is, and this is what you get. Without ever checking a few basic little questions like, okay, I understand that I can't remember anything other than this lifetime. I understand that I see and I hear and I feel and I perceive from this human body as the body. And I understand from some experience of epiphanies, and I've occasionally felt what it's like to go back home and to be myself and to look at this life and this world and notice that it's a dream world. It's a play, it's a movie. It's something that you walk into and walk out of and go, wow, I really got sucked into that one. But then you're back as yourself. You're not back as one of the characters in the movie. You know, when you walked into that movie theater of Earth, you became one of the cast and crew. And then that's all you paid attention to. You didn't pay attention to the infinite nature of anything. Certainly not yourself.
So you're saying I was just playing a part?
I'm saying that you don't know your spirit. You don't know yourself. And you should. You know, if you're asking my opinion, would I say yes? Well, I don't know if I should say yes or not, because you haven't. And who am I to disagree with the choice of a divine being to have a particular experience? But you have to realize that whatever choices you made up until this moment, you know, you're unaware or forgotten of the vast majority of them. And so you don't even remember what you chose that created the you that you are in this moment anymore. You don't even remember any of the reasons.
That's correct.
And so why are you letting this control your consciousness? This unconscious history, the opinions of family and friends and church and school and society, and say, oh, okay, because I talk like this and I move like this and I sound like this and and I perceive the way that I do. I weigh this much, I live here, I drive like this. Okay, so that's me, everybody, that's me. I'm my body, and I'm my circumstances of my body, and the circumstances of my past. And that's why everybody in the world is fucked up. Because that's what they know. They are. But spirit, it's another thing. And by spirit, I'm saying that which is beyond time, that which is beyond space, that which is beyond knowing from a book, that which has to be perceived and can only be perceived if it's equaled. So if you want to perceive God, then you better equal him in the space and the times and the dimensions and the universes that he's self-aware in. Or how could you ever say that you know God? You can't. Same with Jesus. Now, if Jesus became one with God, and it seems like he did, then wherever you find Jesus, you find God. And wherever you find God, you find Jesus too. And Jesus said of you, one of my favorite sayings to tell Christians, because the truth is there aren't any. No such thing as a Christian that I know of. I mean, that's a harsh thing to say. Of course, a lot of people are dedicated and identified with Christianity and have given everything that they can conceive of to being faithful in the ways that they understand that you should be faithful as a Christian. But I read the Bible and the standard works every year for 14 years and haven't done it for 40.
So what is your definition of a Christian? They don't exist?
A Christian is somebody who read the Bible and read that story where one of Jesus' followers come up to him and say, "Good Father," and he says, "Don't call me good, for there is none good except the Father which is in heaven." And so he was just referencing that until one is embodying the divine as their, not just their eternal consciousness, but as their temporal consciousness too, that's when you know the Spirit. That's the answer to your question. But it demonstrates that Christ wasn't there at that time, even though he was doing miracles, even though he was enlightened. He still wasn't in the place where his presence was irresistible. And so Jesus, let's take a step back so we don't make things too significant. There was a body with the name of Jesus. And now that body was like any other body. There was nothing special about it. Now God is omnipresent. What does that mean? Everywhere, right? So God was in that body, but he was in everybody else's body at the same time, just as much. Jesus noticed.
He noticed that God was in his body.
Yeah. He noticed that the kingdom of heaven was already inside of him. And he didn't talk about, he quoted a bunch of parables, but he gave people an experience. You know, Peter almost walked on water. How great of a student you have to be to do that. That's pretty impressive. And what did Christ say at the end? After all of the miracles and he's checking out, going to go get crucified, he said, "Greater works than I have done will ye do." Now, how could that ever possibly be true? The only way it could be true is, yeah, every spirit is an aspect of God. None less than any other. None more than any other. Now there's a first, okay, and let's say he was the first. Then what did he say? Copy what I did until you're experiencing yourself as I do myself. And then, because you didn't have to figure things out, I came here and showed you the way, gave you an example on what living the truth is.
So notice that God is within you, and you can do greater works.
It's kind of, there's different progressions. It's unnatural for somebody to perceive God within their experience of themselves. Okay, I've never met anybody that doesn't. So the beginning point for you to have that experience would be allowing God to be real for you. And to open your perceptions and so that you can feel the space that you're in this room. You know, feel what it is throughout the entirety of the room. Not just your body, just allow your consciousness to expand out. It's already expanded. Just notice in that expanded state that you can feel this room as easily as you can feel yourself. Now feel Christ in the same space. Feel God in the same space. Now when you're temporally biased, almost entirely, and you open up and experience the divine, what happens is the profane starts dissolving and unraveling, because the profane is built upon lies. So every thought, every idea, every belief, every attitude, every personality trait, all created on a network of lies and unconsciousness and disability. And so you have to not just own the divine, you have to own the profane. Everything in your past, everything that had an impact on you, everything that made an impression, everything that brought you to the point where you experience yourself the way that you are right now. That, despite what it seems like, was 100% your doing. Anything that ever impacted you greatly was because you chose for it to. You chose to be there. You chose to look at things the way you did and hear things the way you did and communicate about them the way you did and did not. You know, you were actively involved in every situation that ever impacted you. You could have been somewhere else, with someone else. You knew better, and yet you did it anyway. And that was okay. It created the effect that it did. And you did it to yourself, using everything in this universe as tools to create impacts on this body in a particular way. And now you ask about spirit. Okay, so yes, it's real. And yes, you can experience spirit from the outside. You can open up. You can open your heart, you can open your mind, and you can say whatever deity you like. Diana likes Jesus, so do we. I like other ones also. But whichever one you're most open to easily experiencing a divine presence in the room with you, make your choice and say, please, make yourself known. We already know you're here. But given how we're experiencing reality, allow me to experience you on every level that I'm capable of. Okay, now feel your body, how it's shifting, how it's changing. It's almost going from a solid to a liquid. You're entering a space of transformation, transmutation.
Where you can absorb more.
Well, no, you're not absorbing. What you're doing is you're dissipating unconsciousness. You're dissipating lies. You're unwinding creation that was done in unconsciousness and unawareness. And so you're opening to the experience of the divine, and you feel it all around you. You feel it in the space of the room. There's no part of your body on the outside of your body that you can't feel being embraced by the divine. And then you remember that the divine's already in everything, every creation. All the spaces between the molecules, all the spaces between the atoms. It's all divine awareness there. So when do you get to choose to know yourself, to know spirit? When do you get to choose to know the truth, to hear the truth, to remember the truth, to speak the truth yourself as your experience of you? The truth that sets a mind and body free. The truth of spirit. The truth of divinity. The truth of self. So if the truth of yourself was that Jesus said, you can do even better than I did. I got your back. You know, let me know when you're ready, and I'll give you a reminder of who you are. So let him remind you of who you are right now. Say, Jesus, allow me to experience my own divine nature, my own divine truth, my own divine mind, my own divine purpose, my own divine understanding. You know, bless me with that. I know that you do, but help me feel it, see it, know it, understand it, and be able to say yes to it. How do I say yes to my own divine self-realization? How do I? Please help me. That's how you interact with the divine being if you truly want their help. You have to come from a space of already knowing that you're responsible. Already knowing that this reality is temporary. Already knowing that there's an eternal nature of you that you've gone unaware of. So whatever in eternity you are aware of, whatever divine being has ever touched you in such a way that you remember that there's such a thing, let me just check. Make sure. Oh, there it is. It's running. Okay. So open back up. When you ask for something like that, it's not okay to think it's going to be something that happens to you in the future. The divine only manifests instantaneously. It only manifests now. So if you want to know that's about spirit, and you want to understand it experientially, that only happens in the now. So are you willing to use this now for that experience?
Yes.
Okay, open and stay open.
Open.
Stay in the opening. And if there's anything that you feel solid inside yourself, open more. Open more until it can't hold on. Anything that's painful, anything that's solid, as soon as you can feel it, all you need to know is that it's there and that it's going to be there until you open even more so that it can flow. So open more. Open more. Open more until nothing inside you can stay solid. Open more. Oh, how did that, why isn't that tracking me anymore? There we go. Silence is putting the first sentence on your painting. It's open and open more until everything inside you dissolves and starts flowing. You know, you just surrender. If you trust the divine being that's your favorite, that gives you access to someone else who operates from a divine perspective, a self-realized one. You know, that's a good friend to have, actually. And so the first thing is you feel him on the outside. You feel that divine embrace. And it feels good. And then, as I mentioned before, you notice, you remember that the divine's in everyone and everything. It's in your body too. Now you are willing to feel the divine on the outside of you embracing you, but are you willing to allow the divine to embrace you from the inside? Every aspect of your body and being?
Yes, I am.
Well, feel it. Notice it. Notice it. Okay. And as soon as you notice it, things start changing immediately. It feels like kind of a whirlpool or a vortex has opened up inside of you. And the structure of who you are is changing. So as you're feeling things changing in your body, you're feeling an actual flow of energy where things were stuck before. But then when you notice a little bit more, there's parts of you that have become stuck again, you know, because you didn't stay in the middle of that opening. So open up and stay in the opening. Stay so open that nothing can be damned within you.
Open.
Be so open to divine transformation that damnation cannot maintain its reality inside your body. How much further do you need to open to be free? Open. Open at least that much. Yeah. You'll be able to start breathing easy. Being relaxed in your own body, finally. Remembering that there's no more reason to condemn yourself, to judge yourself, to limit yourself. You know, to protect others by making yourself ineffective. Any sort of weird computation like that. Wake up. You don't need to protect others from yourself. Not when you awaken. Whatever you do in unconsciousness, you do because that's who you were in the moment. That was your context. That was your come from. You were unconscious, and so you acted in a manner consistent with the degree and type and personality of unconsciousness that you had. Doesn't matter. It's what everybody does. It doesn't hold you back. It doesn't make you ineligible from being divinely realized. The only thing that makes you ineligible is not asking. An opening. And continuing saying yes to the experience. continue to open and say yes to noticing the divine within you.
Yes, yes, to noticing. Mhm. Open.
Yeah, yeah. Just follow along with your intention. But no words yet. Stay in the opening. Notice the divine within yourself. Notice the divine all around you and everything in this room, including me, including Diana, including yourself, including my paintings, sacrilegious as they are. Divine's in everything. Always has been, always will be. Heaven on earth is already here. When do you join the celebration? When do you notice that you're already free? When do you join the divine celebration? When do you notice that you're already free? When do I? When do we actually experience the truth that sets us free? Can it be now? So when you ask that question, can it be now? When does the truth set you free? When you experience your divine self-realization? Can it be now? Now, where did those words go? Can it be now? Did they just go inside your head? No, they didn't. Your inside your head doesn't know. It went out throughout the universe. It went throughout all the dimensions, throughout all time, through everything that's ever been and everything that ever will be. And then, if necessary, if there's not enough truth in the universe to give you the right answer, then it moves on to that which holds the universe in its hand. And as that creator, that put a little bit of its consciousness into the universe, allowed that beginning to begin and allowed everything that ever happened to occur. Now, if you're asking to commune with that level of creator and creation, what is it that can take nothing and manifest a universe with trillions of stars, billions of galaxies, and infinite everything? Can that consciousness, that is the consciousness of everyone and everything, every aspect of creation that has self-awareness, that has consciousness, and it's everything. It's not just us, it's not just smart animals, it's everything. Anything that is in this universe is aware because of the consciousness of the Creator. All creations are just creations, they're just atoms and molecules in motion, in patterns, in frequency. That which created this universe is the consciousness of the universe also. Now it develops and individuates and becomes individually aware, and then has a free choice to choose to some degree who and what it is and how it experiences itself. Okay, so what would a body have to do? An individuated consciousness that's operating a body according to genetic programs and collective agreements. How would that individual body fulfill Christ's prediction that you'd do greater works than him? How would that body make a decision that would result in the manifestation of that ability to be a walking miraculous being? Okay, so the answer went somewhere and it came back. Did you feel the shift? Allow that energy that you can feel now, that new one that's different. Just notice it as you stay open. Notice what it is to have an open communication with the Creator of the universe that isn't constrained by the universe, because the universe is just a small part of it. Almost impossible to remember it's even there, unless you were so self-aware that you could be in communion with everything all the time, which apparently a creator can be. So the Creator's in communion with you, right here, right now. And what are you asking the Creator? Are you saying, please, I'd like to awaken as the divine truth of myself while I'm alive, while I'm embodied? Unless that's against divine will, then how could it be? If the divine chooses to awaken as me, then it's divine will. So may divine will move through me. May divine will move through me. Reorganize me, repatternize me, redo my frequency, my vibration. Remember me divinely. I said a lot that I could have written down. Ask the divine you know to assist you in remembering your own divine nature, your own divine essence, your own divine beingness. And stay open as you begin to experience the transformation. You really only need to be willing to experience transformation. That's all. You only need to be willing to experience your own transformation. If you're not experiencing it, it's because you're continually saying no. If you're not experiencing it, it's because you're continually saying no. Begin with this desire to be able to say the yes that you can't say yes. Begin to desire to be able to say yes to the transformation that you've continually said no to up until now. Desire to say yes. Wish to say yes. Hope to say yes. Begin to notice that for the first time, you moving from a firm no to divine freedom, realization, let's say. To a OMG, oh my God, I might do it. I just might get to a yes to my self-realization. So as you move in your stillness, this movement in that stillness, of just noticing what happens. Notice what happens. When you choose to be real, realized, awakened, present, in your wisdom, and yes, you have all of that contextual reality still to deal with. And be responsible for. So you have all of that contextual reality still to deal with and be responsible for. Stay in your flow. Stay open. Stay free. And me too on all that. If I was all that already, I wouldn't have to say it. I wouldn't have to talk to you about it. So I can clarify it in my own mind. So I can make the choices myself that I'm telling you to make. There, feel that pain and sorrow and heaviness leaving your gut, your solar plexus. Stay open. It's all just doing what energy always does, transmutes from one thing to another. It's what it's supposed to be doing. You're supposed to shed the past, like exhaust out of an exhaust pipe. The past moved you forward to now. Right now is where you choose your experience from today. Not from the past. Not for the future. What do you choose right now? Choose to open more. Choose to receive more. Choose to be more aware, more conscious, more free. Choose to be more transformed than you were a moment before. What did I just say? You know you're moving in the right direction in your choice. When you have okay. You know that you're moving in the right direction in your choice. When you have an involuntary, I love my life, mini realization. That's the beginning of divine realization. I love my life. And I never really did before. I love being me. I love being me. You think that doesn't set you free? It's exactly what sets you free. I love my life and I love being me. And I love everything around me. I love my life. I never really did before. I love being me, and I love everything around me. Especially everything I used to hate. All are divine. Notice that. And you gift Notice, especially everything I used to hate. Let's see. I love everything around me, especially everything I used to hate. All are divine. Notice that. And you give the truth of others in their experience of you. You gift others their own self-realized truth as you live your own. So back to basics. The spirit. It's everywhere. In everything. It's all the consciousness that is. It's also all the lies, all the confusions, all the pretenses, all the contextual truths that will disappear. It's everything good and everything evil. And that's you too. Everything good and everything evil. But when you are responsible, you take responsibility for your profane circumstances and personality and point of view. You own that. And you open to the Spirit of God, which has always permeated you. Then experiencing those two paradoxes, they're the paradox of those two truths existing in the same body. Everything that you identified with as the profane. You can't hold on to that anymore. You can't maintain the fabric of reality, of creation, as anything that's less than, divine truth. So if you come here without filters as your eternal nature, then everything around you changes. That's a good thing. The universe mirrors everybody. Whatever stupid idea somebody gets about what they are and who they are and what they're good at, what they're bad at, how life's going to be for them, the universe delivers it up on a silver platter, just the way they imagined it to be. And responds to them as if every lie they ever said was God's honest truth. The universe will validate every limitation that you put on yourself. The universe will validate every limitation that you put on yourself. How does the universe know when you choose not to limit yourself anymore? How will you know? When do you know? When do you know as a divine being when it's okay for you to not limit yourself anymore? When do you know, as a divine being, when it's okay for you to not limit yourself anymore? When do you know that it's okay for you to stop limiting yourself? Is it your job to maintain the collective insanity of the human condition? Is it okay for you to no longer maintain the structure of insanity in the human condition? In your human condition?
Oh,
It would seem that you're free to choose. You are now free to choose. or a profane one. If you choose freedom, that's the divine one. And your job is to get out of the way by saying yes, then opening and receiving. Okay, so we're going to put an end to this painting. Let's see. Here's my paint. Huh. Diana, did you spell receive with the EI or IE?
RECIEVE.
I before C, I before E, except after C.
I mean, it's EI.
Well, it is after C.
And it's EI.
Oh, jeez. So that's my new job.
What's your new job?
Painting paintings of wisdom.
Word art.
Word art. Not just any words, though. Words of creation and destruction. Okay. I have to touch that up somewhat. Okay, so what's left?
Open and receive.
That's your mantra. Oh yeah. Open and receive. Everything that God ever blessed you with. They're all knocking on your door. Open and receive. Let it happen. Don't say no, say yes. Okay. Well, let's see. The camera didn't get back on me. Let's see. You on me now? There we go. So, I probably said exactly the same thing I would have said no matter what subject you would have started with. But we did relatively keep it on point.
It was great. Thank you.
Mhm. Yep. So, at any rate, should anyone ever watch this, then the intended purpose of recording this is that it's a useful tool in your own process of awakening. Listen and make your choice. You know, you're the only one that can. Nobody's going to impose it on you. Everyone has their moment where they will change. And if you want that moment to be now, then choose divinely. Ask the divine for the divine moment to be now. You can't choose it from the profane. You have to go through the exercise. You have to take responsibility for profane. You have to open to the divine. You have to feel the divine. You have to notice the divine within and without and in everyone else. And then you have to open enough until the divine flows through you. And as it flows through you, then it begins to flow as you. And when it flows as you, then the profane is transformed by its interaction with the divine. It can't maintain the structure of its unconsciousness, of its personality. And you return to the truth of you, which is the truth that sets you free. The truth that sets you free can only be your own. It can't be somebody else's. Even another divine being, it can't be their truth that sets you free. It's your realization of your truth. That's how you can do something better than the most celebrated divine being that you can think of. So, it's okay to say yes to the truth that sets you free, your truth, your divinity. And it's not unique, it's not special, and you're not the chosen one. The only way that you're the chosen one is if you're the one who chooses. You're only choosing to say yes, what's true for everybody, for yourself. To satisfy the insanity of mankind, you're going to continue to choose lies instead of truth? Why? Why? Well, I don't know why. I choose lies myself. I'm considering changing my ways. I'm remembering myself. Putting Humpty back together again by remembering the truth. Now, Humpty's truth may be best realized by cracking that shell and getting out and leaving the past ashes to ashes. And be the phoenix rising from the ashes, the truth. The fire of transformation, yourself. The fuel for the fire are your lies, your contextual reality. So, my proposal is just simply if you want to know the Spirit, then you have to experience everything. And if you experience everything, then wholeness is yours. The universal nature is yours. Christ consciousness is you. Christ consciousness is not an individual thing, even though it is individual. But it's not a personal thing, it is personal. It's not a unique thing, maybe is the best way to say it. It's the consciousness of the divine is Christ consciousness. When Christ comes again, it's your Christ consciousness opening in your own heart, in your own mind, in your own soul, as your experience of yourself, just as that other Christ consciousness did so long ago. So, with a little bit of luck, I'll finally meet a Christian. Someone who follows Christ's mandate. He'll do more and greater. So, now if I was him, I'd be pissed off at you. You know? It's just me. So on that note, I'm going to turn this off and say, if somebody listening to this, God bless you. You know, you put up with something. Let's see. Isn't it weird? I don't even know how to turn this off.